Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope all is well. So, y'all, today I want to talk about family ship because sometimes in life we run into issues with our family. And I want y'all to know this just right off the bat that everybody has issues or had some issues with their family, no matter what. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles. Some of us have just had some type of issues within the family that are still lingering or maybe unresolvable. And even in laws, right? Because when we think about the people who our family members decide to co-join in our family with, sometimes we have issues with them. Now, am I for having issues with family? No, not at all. I'm not that guy to say, hey, that thinks or say, hey, if you have issues with people in your family, screw it, so let it be. I'm not that guy, right? Not at all. I feel like that when you get into scenarios, you should try to fix and resolve them. But not every scenario with the family member is resolvable. Not every situation you run into with people needs to be fixed. Sometimes it just needs to be, we moved on and things are better now, right? Or sometimes it's, we haven't never moved on from it and we just don't really coexist like that. But y'all, I'm here to tell y'all, I've had issues with my family before. I've had issues with my brother. I've had issues with my sisters. I've had issues with my parents, just in general, right? So I don't want anyone to think that for that to happen, like you got the weirdest family in the world and it's just y'all, because in reality, no, it's just everybody. Everybody run into issues with their family at some point or another. Now, the real issue is here is that, like, how do you fix those problems? What do you do when you run into issues with family shit, right? And it's one of those things where, like I said earlier, sometimes you can fix it, sometimes it's resolvable, and sometimes it's just not resolvable. But however you see it, sometimes you must continue to move forward. We must, you must, I must rewire the way I think when I think about certain scenarios. And when it comes to family, that's one of the ones we must rewire the way we think. Yes, everyone wants to have a picture perfect relationship with everyone in their family. Everyone wants to be able to say, hey, I have no issues. And I'll tell y'all, for years, I used to be that guy that prided myself on not having issues with nobody. Like, hey, I'm perfect. I don't have issues with anybody. Right. But it has nothing to do with perfection. It's just more along the lines like, hey, I've resolved the issues that I've had with people. And if they're not resolved, we have moved forward past them and we can coexist in the same environment, in the same room. And so it doesn't always have to be a picture perfect scenario, but it can be a scenario where, hey, when we're in the same room, we can say hello. We can exchange pleasantries and just move about our way, let things be, and not rehash the past and just move forward and just say hello and goodbye. So if you're one of those ones today that has an issue with a family member, you're one of those ones today that is really struggling with trying to fix an issue, you're not the only one. Let me start by saying sometimes you have to be the bigger person. Sometimes you have to hide and bury your emotions deep down inside. Now, y'all, I'm not one to tell you to hide your emotions or hide your feelings, but however, in certain scenarios, you have to let them go, right? And that's the word I should have said, was let them go. Not hide them, but let them go. Because sometimes we have emotions that we have internally, but we got to let them go. One thing that I'm a real firm on with myself, and I would suggest you be the same way, is me in some cases when it comes to feelings, is knowing how to control them, knowing how to let your emotions come about, right? If your emotions are uncontrollable, then that means you have uncontrollable emotions. It's not anyone else that makes your emotions react the way they react. It's you. It's not them. Someone can say something to you all day long, and it's not it's not them, it's still you because of the way you reacted and the way your emotions was toward the scenario. So don't ever think it's cool and okay to allow your emotions to get the best of you and turn out to be something they shouldn't be and think like, oh, well, they deserved it because they pushed that out of me. No, with self-control, no one should ever push any negative emotions outside of you. And if those come out in front of people, then shame on you. Shame on you. Because the bigger person who's able to control their emotions is the person that is fit for the scenario. So yeah, y'all, if you're dealing with an issue right now, it's not that issue is going to be a trailing issue. It just may not warrant to be resolved right now. It just may not warrant something that needs to be fixed today or tomorrow. Sometimes time and space works wonders. I had an issue with a family member before, and I really gave it a lot of space, time, and opportunity. And I kind of let things resolve how they resolved, right? And when I let things resolve the way they resolved, I came out on top. And when I say came out on top, it doesn't mean I won or it was the other person's fault. I'm just saying I came out on top because that scenario got fixed and it got resolved. And so you have to really ask yourself, how do you want the scenario to end up? Do you want it to be a I won type scenario? Do you want it to be I knew I was right type scenario? Or do you want it to be a resolved scenario? And I would say the right response to that should be you want it to be resolved, not you won and not they lost. Because once you put Cheerios in a bowl and you add the milk to the Cheerios, now you got a little bit too much sugar in it. Right. And so what I mean by that, y'all probably wonder, like, what the heck does that mean? Cheerios and milk still taste good together. Still taste good together. But where I'm going with this is that in that scenario, don't put too much on top. Let it just be as it is and then move forward with it. But I came out on top because the scenario got solved. It got fixed. There was no more trailing issues. There was no more banter back and forth. There was no more bickering back and forth. The dust settled and the problem went away. Let me tell you one thing I did not do. I did not bring that problem back up again. And some of y'all love to feed and feed and feed into the issue. Some of y'all love to have drama in y'all life. When things are going great and there's nothing happening, that life's too perfect for you. So now you got to go dig up a scenario and drive it back down to the ground again. That I will not do, and I have never done, and I will not do. Once a scenario and a problem has been resolved, it's resolved, especially with Coach James. Now, I don't know how some of y'all handle scenarios, but that's how I handle scenarios. I stop them in their tracks, and once they're done and they're fixed and over with, I don't go back to rehash things out. I don't need to have the right to rehash anything out because it's a done deal. So I want you to really ask yourself this if you're dealing with that type of problem. How do you want it to be resolved? How do you want to fix it? And if you're thinking that I want to win, you're never going to fix it. If you're still thinking like they're wrong and I'm right, it's never going to be resolved. Because soon as y'all talk about it or whatever y'all decide to do, you're going to dig that same problem back out of the ground again, and you're going to pound it again until you feel like that you won and they said they lost. I had a good friend who had an issue with his family. And his whole thing was is he just wanted them to admit that they were wrong. And because they never admitted they were wrong to him in his eyes, they didn't speak for 15 years. All because of a silly grudge. Because of a silly grudge, y'all. Makes me really question people's motives. I was reading this book, and this book is called Letting Go. And in this book, one of the chapters talk about how two brothers got into it. And they didn't talk for a numerous amount of years. And it kind of reminds me of the scenario I just explained to y'all a minute ago, because somebody wanted to be right and somebody wanted to be wrong or had to be wrong. And the book talks about it was a family, it was two brothers, and they got into it. And it was such a long trailing issue. Years passed by before they even spoke. Once they started speaking again, the brothers had really totally forgot what they argued about. What was the disagreement about? And then when they came back and they talked about it and they realized what the disagreement was about, it was about a pair of shoes. A pair of shoes. Several lost years of communication, love, and familyship because over a pair of materialistic things, a pair of shoes. I'm going to tell you, if you're fighting with your family member over a pair of shoes right now, grow up. Grow up. It's not worth it. It's a material thing. A pair of shoes can always be replaced. A pair of pants can always be replaced. But a human being couldn't and should never be replaced on top of a material thing. Never. So if you're one of those ones dealing with an issue today, I hope that you find it in your heart to resolve it. Number one, you got to talk to that person again. Number two, you got to control your emotions. You have to. It's a necessity. One thing I always tell people is that you never want to have to kiss somebody goodbye. And yes, I'm talking about death. Let me just say it for what it is, about death. And you never resolved or fixed or even got over the problem. To me, that is the worstest thing you can do in your life, to say, this person passed away. I didn't talk to him for 15 years because of this issue, and now they're gone. I can never tell that person I love them or I'm sorry. That's the worst predicament for anybody to ever be in. But I'll tell you right now, if some of y'all keep living the way y'all living and keep doing the things y'all doing, y'all headed in that direction right now. Your last time saying goodbye to someone is watching them in the casket be buried. Is that what you want? Because sometimes when you ask for things, you'll get it. That's not what I want. And I don't want that for any of y'all, to have to say goodbye to somebody through a casket. They can't hear you. They can't see you. They sure as hell can't respond now. They're dead. Is that what you want? Because I tell you now, if that's what you want, if you ask, you shall receive. And I'm not saying any of y'all are asking for that, but your action speaks way louder than your words do. I know when I've had issues with people, I still text them, called them, and picked up the phone. Now, the conversation wasn't the same. I wasn't trying to analyze your life or figure out what you got going on. It was more of a, hey, how are you? Hope things are great. This person's good. That's good to hear. How are you? Glad you're doing great. Thank you for picking up the phone, or thank you for the phone call. I'll talk to you in a few. And that's mainly how it went. You don't have to be best friends with somebody you had a disagreement with before in the past, but you at least want to be on speaking terms. You want to at least be able to exchange pleasantries without negative words coming. It's a must. It's a must. So if you're dealing with someone in the family that you're having an issue with, my suggestion to you is to go and fix it. To be better on talking terms, to be better at your communication. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for listening to today's episode. I really appreciate it. If you have not checked out my website, go check it out. It's www.rewirethewayouthink.com. Yeah, I'm not hard to find. I'm on IG all day, every day. It's Fast Forward Mindset Podcast. If you're struggling today with thoughts of suicide, thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else, please don't hesitate to call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 988. And y'all don't forget to hit that follow button. When you do, you never miss a moment to rewire the way you think. Hey, y'all, I'm Coach James. Let me help rewire the way you think. And as I always say, if your monster doesn't make you money, it's costing you way too much. And that's my 2 cents in it, y'all. Peace.
Thank y'all for listening to today's episode. And remember, don't rewind your life, fast forward it. Until next time, keep moving forward. Hey, y'all, I'm Coach James. Let me help rewire the way you think. All right, y'all. Peace.